Welcome to the Mighty Misfit Menagerie. It is
super serious.
It's 6 p.m. on Monday. What are you doing?
You know what time it is. 6:11, right on time.
All right, now do the thing. Go ahead.
You gotta
lean
lean into it.
You gotta get this. Also known as.
We don't just as on command.
Do it now. Hank does.
Gotta wine us and dine us first.
I've learned so much about you.
No, it's because you've threatened so much. And I'm like, oh, no.
See, Hank has much more to lose because he's still in one of my home games.
And my character's awesome, so I don't want him to die anytime soon. He has too many names.
All right. Does somebody want to go over what happened last week? Because I feel like there's still some bitter feelings.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hence the emails that I received.
Wait,
You received emails?
Yeah, you sent me that big old long... Oh, you must have been drunk.
Oh, yeah. Did I have a picture?
I do regret not actually pulling the trigger. So I don't
No, I don't...
No. I feel like Vex is
Anyway.
I should have been the one. Yada, yada, yada.
So last week, we finally actually got to the headquarters of the Chiron group, or at least what used to be the headquarters of the Chiron group. We got stuck into a 1950s world where we were trying to rescue Beck, who'd been trapped there for an indefinite amount of time and had kind of joined into their system, being mentally tortured for years. And at that point, we found that there was one way that we could end everything, and that was by killing Mr. Clark, or at least ending his connection to whatever caused all of this. And we did so, but we paid a price for it that none of us, for the most part, remember.
Mm-hmm. So we are going to zoom in now on... we will get to you in a minute, Jared, but we will zoom in on you guys standing around. There's a bunch of Chiron groups swarming everywhere. And we close up on Levi's face as the last picture of the first time he ever saw Carol slowly fades from recollection.
I will turn to Lucius at the last moment and just yell, "You son of a bitch!" and leap at him.
What the hell are you doing?
All of this is your fault. I don't care if that was what
I'd give it a couple seconds and then
Zach,
try to pull him off.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I'm so sorry, Lucius. Pardon.
Quite all right.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. That's very strange. We should go. We need to get out of here before we get taken by the group, right?
I mean, yeah.
Don't we need to stop something from happening now?
So it's at this point, Doug, that you walk up on the group wrestling on the ground after, you guys had stopped the angel from taking over that girl because you got here in time, and you don't understand what they're doing.
You said Doug.
What the hell are y'all doing? Took you so long. God damn.
What?
I start taking vitals.
You start kind of like, get away from me.
He still smells awful, and his van is on fire, but all
I'm a
unrelated. It had to happen. It's the only way you lived through it, buddy.
What?
A tear sheds.
Oh, the vehicle.
There's everything in the car.
And we have full memory other than Carol. Okay.
Even of Beck?
Mm-hmm.
Doug, what's the last thing you remember?
The last thing you remember is ramming your van into a crazy ghost girl, and it lighting on fire as an angel shot up to heaven.
It was something a little crazy.
And you did lose Yukito.
Yeah, she teleported in front of the car. I gunned it because I was not going to get out of the car. Or the van.
Because that would be stupid.
And then when I hit her, the van caught fire. I jumped out. Yukiko was still powered off, so she's... It's okay. But... And then something exploded off into the sky.
I'm gonna go give Doug a hug. No, come here.
Well, I mean, I come and hug you from the other side, so I mean, you can't really get away.
I miss you and your little sex
I'm
robot.
seeing too much of this. This is uncomfortable.
Given what I'm wearing and how you smell, I'm going to opt for a handshake. But I am very glad that you're well.
In all honesty, I prefer that too.
Damn it, Cult, you can't make me laugh that hard right in the middle of emotional stuff.
Yeah. I'm just gonna see what's left.
So you remember us killing the angel then?
No, it flew away.
I mean, I did say like
It went back up to heaven.
Yeah. Like you broke the ritual.
Oh.
You don't know that.
I just know it went back up there.
So
given your guys' knowledge, what he did broke the ritual before you guys got to where you got to.
So we don't even have to deal with.
Nope, the angel's done.
seemingly the angel is out of the picture. So what's our next move here?
I will point out, because you guys have been at this long enough, that these are much more changes than you were even expecting.
Yeah.
So was the cost that we paid to break the tie? Did we get Doug back? I feel like that's...
Cost for what?
I feel like that's not a cost. I mean, maybe Beck is dead. Maybe they took Beck.
Or you received a phone call from Beck already.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, so Beck's not dead. We received a phone call from Beck.
We can focus on that at a later time, I guess, but we still have to complete what we're here for.
Well,
what we are here for.
What are we here for? It's done. What are you guys talking about? What cost? What do y'all do?
So
I don't want to be that guy, but
yeah,
I used the quill. So if there's a cost, maybe we should put some time into protecting me.
So like last episode, you have enough recollection because so much was lost that you know that a cost was paid. You just don't remember what it was.
I'm feeling a strange sense of grief. Like we did lose someone, but maybe we can't remember.
So it's...
I mean, can you remember your sister still? Is that...
I remember her again.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's all back.
I mean, I have all my memories of her back. But I thought I had already dealt with that grief. But yes, maybe that is what it is. Because now she's... Or is she back now? Is she her now in this timeline? Or is she already too far gone? Oh.
I have no idea what y'all
okay. So
talking
who's going to explain to
Poor
Doug? I
Momentarily.
take them all aside.
Just...
Well,
Well, I guess I'll stay over here with my burning van. All right.
not like way far away, but I'm just like to them. I'm like,
Somebody is setting up a table with coffee and donuts.
I'm walking over to the and then I will go to my van to try and scavenge anything.
And isn't the Chiron group like nearby? Like
the
That's
Chiron
who's setting
group
up
is
the coffee and donuts.
Okay.
So they're evil coffee and donuts.
So who's gonna tell Doug that he died and we're in a different timeline?
Well, now he didn't
He-
die, so it's probably...
theoretically he did.
But he's gonna want to know
Theoretically.
what we're talking about when we start talking about these things. What are we gonna tell him?
will he want to know?
I mean, we can make up a story if he was there in the van somewhere. I mean, just in our ears, right?
I suppose. Do we have our earpieces back?
Yeah.
Do we have our
But
earpieces
they
back?
wouldn't work.
But
with
all of
that.
your gear is currently on fire.
Oh, okay, so I will.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like,
Not-
talking about.
Not to say that explaining this to Doug is not important, but the whole reason that we're here at all is to finish this situation. We still have to stop him from bonding to whatever that thing was.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gave us some time, but I mean, theoretically, we know how to kill Mr. Clock now. And I'm saying this very quietly. Very quietly.
I understand you're only having your voices
Yeah.
raised for the stream. That's fine.
Maybe we should go back to my car that I still have again now because there was no dragon to destroy it. We can like go sit in a car.
Not
now
to mention
instead of-
your car is still alive because they didn't drop the dead body on it.
I mean, I got another one. It was fine.
But I'm just saying.
I look at it and go, you know, I liked the other model better. I think I'm going to have them swap it out.
Now, do you think that anyone else has the memory? I mean, do you think Mo would still remember being Lucifer's bitch?
I think it's just us.
Doug, I'm sorry. I realize that none of this makes any sense to you, but...
Oh, do you walk back over to Doug?
Oh, I thought he was...
No,
Yeah.
I'm at the coffee table, just like, when I look over at you guys, just kind of like...
The guy keeps like yelling at Doug. He's like, you can't have, what are you doing? And he's just like...
It's mine too. I'm stuck here. That's my van. This donut's paying for it, alright?
Do we see Mr. Clark anywhere?
Mr. Clark and Lapis are standing over, like, directing some people. Because Lapis was there last time.
Okay. So we see them. Sorry. Okay.
Because right before this, you had confronted Lapis and she basically told you you were dead to her.
Huh?
Like, she had ignored you completely. Like, Lapis is fully with the Chiron group.
When she attacked us?
That was
When we
earlier, but I'm
played
saying
originally, right?
in this instance, like in this situation, she was there originally, but she was just...
Didn't care.
So you walk right by.
Okay. But her and I, she's never told me off except for on that rooftop where she revealed
she's
her
never...
weird
Yeah,
job.
that's what I'm saying. She I didn't mean told you off, she, like, ignored you.
Okay. Okay.
And Mr. Clark is there. And this time, you guys know already that you can't shoot him in the head. Because I think last time somebody shot him in the head. He just stood
Not
back
here. I shot him when he came to the restaurant.
Well, I mean, should we make our move?
When else is the time?
What's our move?
We unwrite his contract with a wishing well, and
Well, maybe
Levi
you guys should
shoots
do
him
at
in
least
the
an
head.
hour of content before you do that. No reason. At all.
Maybe we should go.
I mean, just
Oh.
maybe we should not do anything with the quill here. So while we're surrounded by like a bunch of people who are probably very interested
Chiron
in it.
employees.
I mean, maybe
do
one
you
of
guys
us.
mind? I gotta set up a meter right here. There's a man holding like a metal rod with like some weird gizmo on the end of it.
I'd like to walk up next and was like, you're actually, with all my calculations, you need to be about 3 more feet that way.
That's great. I have 3 PhDs.
I probably wrote half of those for you.
What?
I enjoy going into
Well,
your database.
so maybe should one of us go up to Mr. Clark and maybe exchange a meeting?
Are you guys
for
gonna
later?
move or?
Yes, we'll like part and
You're
wait there
still wrong.
awkwardly while he kind of adjusts it.
I just stare at him.
I walk over to the
Oh
car.
no, yeah, keep hammering. Yeah, it needs to be lower for sure.
And 3 feet that way.
Definitely needs to be lower.
Who are you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it.
How are we doing the carpooling?
I can't really carpool right now.
Well, yeah, you'll be.
I'm with
Is he
you,
still
Levi.
there?
You have some booze in there somewhere, right?
Back seat. If you open up the seat.
I'm already
Yeah.
in there. I'm already in there.
I mean, I drove. No, I didn't drive. We all took one car.
Yeah, you took Levi's car, and then Levi's
Right.
car got totaled.
Well,
Who's
So,
driving their car?
What I was saying is maybe one of us go up, arrange a meeting for later, away from all of these other Chiron groups, and take him out then.
does he have
Why
to
do I
physically be there for us to do this?
Well, he has to physically be there for us to shoot him.
Oh, that's right.
And what does he know of us at this
Are
time?
you supposed to be listening
I
to
mean-
this
Was he aware of us?
He was aware
I don't
of
know.
us. He
I don't even know what they're talking
he
about
was the
either, man. I'm
one
not the
that
doc.
told us.
He's just eating one of your
to-
donuts.
No,
Like,
that
you
was
son
that
of a
wasn't.
bitch.
He told us
He
to.
visited us at your shop, and that's where he kind of revealed.
No, yeah, he told us to stop looking for Lapis, and we signed a
You hear
contract.
Mr.
of
Clark
some
goes like,
kind.
"I told you guys to leave."
We leave. No, wait. You wanna...
I mean, should we?
Yeah.
Go
I feel
ahead.
like we need. I feel like someone else should do it with more persuasive means about them.
Okay, I'll walk over.
Levi.
How about we make a trade? We'll leave right now, and perhaps we can rendezvous at a later date. I'd love to speak with you about what happened here today.
I have no urge to speak to you.
What would make it worth your while?
Well, I don't know. You could jump off a cliff. That would be nice.
All right,
What?
come to the restaurant, meet with us, and I'll go jump off a cliff.
Is that supposed to be compelling?
It's your idea.
You did ask for it.
Well, that just sounds like the most trappy trap I've ever heard of. What is it that you have?
A trap.
So, you expect me to just show up and spring a trap that you have?
You're not the least bit interested to see what we're going to try.
I can assure you that it won't work. There are
Yeah.
things about me that you don't yet know.
And then I'll go jump off a cliff.
But that's clearly a trap. What kind of negotiating skills are these? Does he speak for the rest of you?
We're in the car.
Does he speak for the rest of you?
Yes!
Do you know what he's saying?
Yes!
Because I could have him shot now.
I'll get out of the car.
I will get
He like just
farther into the car.
I'll go
So
over
he's
with him.
telling me that if I show up to speak with you at his restaurant later, so you can trap some ill-conceived trap, he will jump off a cliff.
Okay.
What? This is a binding contract. Swear on your power.
Well, you have to fail first.
What?
It has to fail first
What has to fail?
for me to jump off a cliff. If you're
What
not
do
here, it
What?
doesn't really matter.
So, but the agreement that we have is that I show up to talk to you and then you'll jump off a cliff.
If it fails,
If what
How about that?
fails?
our trap.
So you're admitting there is a trap now.
100%.
We've said that several times.
I don't understand you people. You know what? No. I have a lot of business to do tomorrow, and I don't have time for any of this. Lapis, if they don't leave, just shoot them. Starting with your sister.
Well, that didn't work. What next?
That was funny, though.
I guess you walk back to the car.
Yeah, let's just go. We'll figure it out.
We could potentially, now that we know we can hack into the system, maybe we can use that to figure out where they're going to be. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah, I know the archive was active, so I mean they might block it or know that we're trying to get in. But I mean that's definitely on the table. We need to get him somewhere that's away from his people and out in the open.
What's
I mean, maybe if we break the contract to try and find his sister, he'll show up personally to try and satisfy the contract.
Hank, are you choking?
No.
Okay.
He's learning to breathe again.
I'm okay.
Because we can't lose Zach. We just got
Wanna
done.
take a drink of water?
It's a trade.
Equivalencies.
No.
Equivalent exchange.
Alternatively, if he's never had that contract to begin with, he might not even be here in this place doing this now. We know that it happened long enough ago that he would be a very elderly man at this point, if alive.
Yes, if we take away his immortality, maybe he will just cease to exist.
It's possible.
Fade away.
Or we could go back to, I don't know how it works. Back to his time when I guess it's just all unanswered questions at this point.
Wait, can you time travel?
Can I what?
Can you time travel?
Can I time travel? No.
I mean, technically, you guys just all time travel.
Not of our
Well-
power.
I think either way, first thing needs to be getting out of here.
Yes.
Yes.
So where am I taking you all with whatever you're talking about?
Toss Doug the keys.
I'm already in the driver's side.
Good to have you back.
Just restaurant. I'm getting a baby colada.
Yeah.
You know, Doug, if we have time later, I'd love to get an MRI. Someone who was dead and then is now alive, and that's got to have some
I have
markers.
no idea what you're talking about.
I told you we need to talk to him.
No, we don't need to talk.
He
Just
doesn't
whatever
know.
happened, y'all are being weird. Keep it yourselves.
Okay.
Tell me once you're more composed. I drive us to the restaurant.
I text Benson while we're on the road.
Tell him I said hi. Will I miss him?
It's been like an hour since you last saw him. Jesus.
Iris is high and she misses you. Send.
Very well, sir. Give her my best. Like, immediately.
I just want you to know that I love and care about you and will never release you from service again.
Sir, should I get your hangover cure ready for the morning?
No, Benson, no alcohol.
Sir, I don't understand.
I'll leave it at that.
Should I call a car? Sir.
On way to restaurant.
All right, I'll meet you there. Do remember that Catherine did request to use the restaurant for a personal event tonight.
Who the Catherine?
Do we know a Catherine?
Who? Question mark.
Catherine, your restaurant manager?
You haven't got rid of Catherine yet?
You don't remember
Do we?
Catherine.
Yeah, we don't.
You remember Catherine. You know she's a real piece of work.
She's something else, but no
Catherine. How long has Catherine been your business manager? I'm just reading your text.
How long has Catherine been the restaurant manager?
For a year, sir?
I mean, do you know any of his staff at his restaurant? It doesn't seem too weird to me.
You remember all the rest of the staff, yeah?
Well, but we have all this
We don't
memory
have,
of all
like,
these
connection
this
to them.
shenanigans.
Right?
No.
Except for Emilio.
Yeah.
Like, because we've met Benson and we'll have this memory
Yeah.
of, like, all these meetings we've had at his restaurant.
But, like, everyone else just fades into the background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very well, we'll use my office then.
Why don't we just go to your apartment?
Isn't your office also at your restaurant?
I was saying because she's having an event, then I'll just go to my office.
Where's your office?
In the restaurant.
But
okay.
stay in the office, not in the
Yeah,
actual
sorry,
restaurant.
I was really
Yeah.
confused. Your office that is like super tiny, but yeah.
Also rude. He owns the restaurant. He's going to come and go as he pleases.
So, do you guys
Ow.
discuss anything else major while you head to it?
And should we just go to the apartment then? We'll say screw it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Well, unless we want to meet Catherine, because that could, jar something, or I don't know. No, we
That's
don't.
not a bad idea.
Fuck Catherine.
That is not a bad
Sorry.
idea. We should go meet Catherine.
I don't hate Catherine so much. She was alright.
I honestly don't remember Catherine.
We've met her many times.
Many
Okay.
times.
She's worked for a year.
Doug, I don't know how to tell you this, but we've all just time traveled roughly 100 years from some time in the future. In our original timeline, you died today about 2 hours ago.
I like this timeline better.
I figured you would, but there's something that is missing from how we came back here.
Well, what'd you do while you're on time travel? How does your story go?
There was a cat that ran the world, and she needed our help vanquishing an external foe that was going to destroy reality, I think. Is that right? Anybody else?
Sounds like a demon cat.
Wait, is he still... He's not influenced
Nope.
by Faye anymore, right?
Nope.
Your roommate is probably not in Fairy anymore.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, that probably explains a lot of it.
Are you gonna confess your love to him now?
And
Yes.
Oh, yes, Zachariah, we need a good story.
I will still stab you.
He does still have his sword.
Admittedly, I kind of miss the pink.
It was fetching.
It wasn't pink, it was red. I had red hair for a little while.
It was rose red.
It was fairy red. He pulled it off.
I can see it.
But basically, at this point, we just have to find a way to stop Mr. Clark from making a deal with this external entity before it comes back to destroy the world all over again to ensure that the timeline is on the right track.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we missed the perfect opportunity back there, but...
We haven't gotten
There's,
him.
there were too many people
Well,
over
I
there.
guess we could have kidnapped him.
I mean, we can go back if you got an hour and a half of D&D prepared.
Well, so what's the plan now? I mean, should we just forget everything else and focus on Clark? I mean, we did fight other things.
Well, I mean,
I guess the lawn gnomes won't really be a problem if
right.
if we talk to Mo before and tell him not to make the lawn gnomes.
Well, but the reason the lawn gnomes were involved was because of the quill, which you now have.
yeah.
Right.
So that's a paradox as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clark, yes, that is what we need to focus on.
I mean, whatever happened with that dude up in Phoenix?
Rookie?
Yeah.
I mean, now you know where he's going to be, actually.
Yeah. What you just think of, Levi?
Stacy's still alive.
But Stacey doesn't have the quill now.
Oh, good, I didn't
We have
eat
it.
I think Mr. Clark is a little bit
Oh, yeah.
more
You
important
didn't eat.
than Stacy at this point. We will find Stacy and end him, but
I mean, if we were to find
You
Stacey's
also
mom,
know
we
where
could take
Stacy
care of it.
is.
True.
Because he's working at the airport.
Okay, fine. Clark first, Kate.
we know
Stacy
he
To be
does
honest,
not
with-
like sniper rifles.
I was going to say, with your sniper rifle, like, you could clean up shop because you know where everyone's going to be.
That's true. But I only want to kill one of those people.
I know, I'm just saying, like, you just clean up shop if you needed to.
Alright, well, as long as he's not doing anything with the quill, I guess we can leave him for now. Focus on Clark. For now.
For now.
So-
I give everyone a weird look like, no.
So you guys kind of like chit-chat and get Doug up to speed with a more detailed account of everything that happened in the timeline. You guys show up at the restaurant and you hear the thump of loud music, and there's a big sign on the door that says private party.
We kind of walk up like, you said you were like in a video game.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Why were you guys following the video games? You guys sound like you had something you were trying to do there, but there's no details.
I mean, we were trying to kill the evil witch or
Yes.
something.
Didn't we have
We
to
did not.
save someone?
You didn't say
I mean,
anything
that
about
part's a little foggy.
There's
I don't
usually
know.
just like a generic person that
It's
you have
usually
to
the princess,
And,
but
and
that
also,
doesn't
you
sound
guys
like
went
it.
to that to save his roommate, not necessarily the
Oh,
other
right.
person. Yeah. The other person
Okay.
then was involved, but it was his roommate that you
Yeah.
went there in the first place.
Ah,
Okay.
So you remember that.
Meet Catherine. Then probably talk to
me,
Tom.
yeah, okay. You
And
guys
see
don't
what
remember.
Tom thinks as far as what we can do next.
Who's
Yeah.
Tom's?
The
The cat.
yes,
Yeah.
My cat, yeah.
Starboard.
the one that runs the world.
So it is Demon Cat.
And then if Tom's going to be obtuse again, then we can talk to Mo.
Do I know Mo? I don't think
Yeah.
I do.
Live, Matt, right?
Did you guys go to... No, yeah, because he made pina coladas in your honor, so you met Mo.
Okay.
Once.
Once. I think once.
Because there was that convention at the hotel that we went to. It's like,
Oh,
welcome.
that's just I'm following your guys' lead at this point. I have no idea what's going on.
Well, let's crash a party.
So you open the door and you're immediately assaulted by the smell of blood.
Blood?
Yes. You look around and you see the entire restaurant is covered in plastic except for the bar. You see several naked people in various states of coitus. And you have basically walked in on a satanic blood orgy that you see Catherine surrounded by 5 men, only her top half visible, going, "Oh, Levi, you said I could use the space."
Sword out.
Sword out.
F-
No, my actual sword. Come on, guys. Easy now.
I think
Roll
I've seen this one
composure.
before.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'll just kind of.
So, sorry to interrupt.
I mean, the private... I kept everyone out of your little private breakfast nook that you love.
And
That's very considerate of you.
does she look familiar to any of us?
Not
Or
to
are we
any of
getting
you.
feelings
You
about
know this
this
is
woman?
exactly the kind of satanic bullshit she's always doing. So
It's
Can
kind
I
of like.
roll something?
Wait, she does this all the time?
she's just like super, super into Satan. Like just into it.
She's great.
The irony of this situation is palpable.
Does it look like human blood?
Yeah, it looks like the people theirs like are cutting themselves and
All right, I'm going to go.
Don't step in
We
the blood.
should have just gone to your apartment.
Have a good night, Catherine. Lock up when you're done.
I'll tell you what, I haven't seen that bird in my life.
I grab your cup and sniff and look. What is this?
I think I might sell at the restaurant.
I would have grabbed another bottle, but it's covered by plastic for the blood ritual.
The bar was not covered.
Oh, wonderful.
So
I
there might be
grabbed
some
another bottle.
blood. Are we going somewhere else?
I
Deal
hope.
with this
I'd like
again.
You guys' apartment.
This is like the third time. Just it's been interesting. Since you don't remember,
I pick up-
catch him to speak.
I pick up Seb and carry him into the car. Pet him.
Seb doesn't seem to want to go,
He wants to stay.
but he is a demon.
the blood
So
Sure.
Next one, bud. Next one.
So many interesting smells.
Oh boy.
We have blood at home.
he just dejectedly gets in the car. It goes.
I start scratching.
Okay, so we go to mine.
Yeah. So is that? I mean, is she? I don't know how to phrase this without being offensive. Is she anywhere near like even contacting Satan with the stuff that she's doing, or is she just like playing around and thinks that she's?
Playing around.
I mean, like Satan, like is trapped in hell. So
Yeah.
no matter what you do, like, and there was no summoning circles or anything like that. They were just having a good old fashioned blood orgy. Like that stuff happens. You're just
I don't do it.
just outgrown it.
Yes.
So
Nothing will come of it. Nothing to worry about.
Is
I
she
just
part
having
of
fun.
the Lucifuge,
Loosely.
like based on what the stuff she's doing, is that hint that she's? I'm just trying to gauge
One of
like what.
one of your rescues would never do
No.
stuff like that because they try and fly under the radar. So logically, she probably is a babysitter for you
Yeah.
in this timeline.
Got it. Yes, she is, and I'm not happy to have her here. I guess I don't have that knowledge.
you're
Getting pieces.
you've been alive for so long that like you're catching up just based on what you saw. You're
Yes.
like, okay, this is obviously a power move, so I'm in politics now.
And Doug also is gonna be like, well, you did tell me all the time you wanted to get rid of her, but you can't. So I don't know why. It's your restaurant.
Great.
So you pull into your parking garage, and waiting at your personal elevator is Benson with what looks to be a martini glass, some aspirin, and a thing of V8 with a celery in it. Welcome home, sir.
I take the martini.
I
Benson, I hug Benson.
Yeah.
I say I hope Benson. Yeah.
And he like, you guys both attack him, and he like holds this tray perfectly up while you do it.
It's good to see you, friend.
Very well, sir, but this is highly inappropriate.
Of course.
I give him a handshake.
It's reverse Doug.
Oh, sorry.
He dropped the tray.
I did not.
Benson, if you ever find yourself outside
Lucius,
of
I'm
your
going
master's service,
I'm going to tell you right now that if you also hug me, I will become emotional.
Hug him.
before that, if you ever find yourself outside of your master's service, I will always have something for you.
Very well, sir, but if I didn't have the master, I would have no will to live.
I probably would start
I
tearing.
hug
Treat him like gold.
I hug him.
Oh,
The biggest
this is
hug.
truly uncalled for. Stop.
I pull a handkerchief out of my jacket where it always is and hand it over to him.
Sir, I'm not going to do anything as undignified as actually cry.
Just take the gesture, dear.
I am professional.
Yes.
But if you excuse me, I need to excuse myself. Your tomato juice.
I'll take the tray.
I'm happy that he's back.
And he
He's
then
so
like opens
dying.
the door to your personal stairs and takes the stairs. 'Cause that's effing Benson.
I'm gonna rewatch that footage later.
Getting
in the elevator.
And then Seb like kind of like leaves you and like goes after Benson, like trying to knock him over on the stairs the entire way.
Oh.
No, not on purpose, just like in that loving dog way. He's like, seriously, Seb, I could die.
I could die.
No,
right.
he would say Cerberus. Well, seriously, Cerberus. I could
God.
die.
Okay, so we'll get on the elevator and go north.
You mean up to your apartment? So you open up into your apartment, and you see all of your post-it notes indicating which rooms have bugs in them.
Yes. Oh, great. All right. So it looks like my bathroom.
The bathroom and the balcony seem to like you have like little like safe zone areas. On it.
Throwing
If
it
they're
out there.
wireless, I could help. Like, give us a spot to talk. Just put a loop of something over it.
I'm not opposed to that.
You have a laptop I could use. Mine got burned.
You know that would be like it's better to have them. You know what I mean? Like it's better to sit in here, have a 30-minute conversation, and then move on. You know what I mean? Like.
Mm-hmm.
You've done this game before, like anything, like if you came home and then there was suddenly a loop or something like that, that would make them more suspicious than
Got
just. So you guys spend 30 minutes talking about, I don't know, some hot dude at the club.
Exactly in that tone. I don't know.
And then you spend a long time complaining about the blood orgy, and hopefully they got that plastic super watertight.
I know that she puts down the plastic so it's easy to clean, but I'm just saying you never get the smell out. Would anybody like to go to the balcony? It's
Oh,
a
yes,
lovely
I'd love
evening
to.
tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great out.
Iris, bring the bottle.
Righto.
No need, sir. I've brought champagne and a bowl of cubed fruit for you.
Oh, too kind. Thank you,
Benson
Benson.
just appears with a bottle of champagne. It's like, it seems that you are celebrating something. You all seem in particularly high spirits.
That is a way to say it. Yes.
I'll grab it. I'm alive. Ding.
What an odd toast. As he just kind of like tucks his tray.
To Benson.
To Benson.
You see him look a little uncomfortable, like from the living room, and then he goes back to his court.
Bye, darling.
To the balcony.
Oh no, you were on the balcony. You
Yes.
brought them out to the balcony.
All right. So, what do we do?
I mean, so broken record, but we need to get Clark somewhere
Yes.
with
But
you
how?
having a clear shot and me taking off his name.
But how?
I don't know. That's what we need to workshop.
Ask Tom. Ask.
Mission
I mean,
kill Clark. That's all I
How,
understand.
Yes.
without these powers that are greater than ourselves, is there a way for us to get him out of his hole? What would compel him to come find us?
You have anything
I thought getting
powerful
rid
you'd
of me
like?
might help, but apparently I'm not that important.
Baiting him with the quill?
That might set him off to our plan, though. Maybe bait him with the square one.
Yes, or a strange creature. The Chiron seems attracted to taking them apart. Although then we'd have to get our hands on a strange creature.
Moses, right?
Too bad we didn't kill that dragon.
They would want Mo, that's for sure.
They would want Mo? Okay. Interesting.
He's a demon.
Can we...
He's probably one of the only true demons operating like within their grasp right now. Like, so I'm just saying, like that. I mean, you've seen what Mo can do.
Yes.
Now, what can we do to kind of have Mo help us? I guess we're not linked anymore, so
There's always virginity.
there's always virginity.
So Levi, around this time you receive a text message, and it's from a number you don't recognize, and it says, "Oh, I just sprung my own," and then there's a huge explosion from the parking garage as your entire building shifts to the side.
Run.
Clark.
Huh?
Clark.
I just sprung my own.
My own trap.
My own trap.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So
Get
Is
out.
the
Get
building
out.
falling over?
It's not falling over, but it is definitely like the whole foundation just blew up.
I like bum rush everyone, like push them through the doors. We start to the elevator,
Yeah.
the stairs.
Stairs.
And I can't
Make
make
sure
that
that
sense.
Benson's coming with us.
Yes.
Check for traps.
Rhododendron.
What if we take can we get to this is generally my stairwell, it's the south stairwell. If we take the north stairwell instead, so they're not expecting us.
The entire building drops like a foot.
Just go.
All right.
And Benson goes, "Forgive me, sir." And you guys are all. You said you were holding everybody, right?
Yeah.
He goes like this, and like he looks at you, his eyes black, and you're just enveloped in darkness.
What?
Next thing you know, you're all sitting up from prone, and you're on a featureless plain of gray with just ash falling from the sky. And there's like a sunset, but it's in grayscale, and you're like all covered in ash.
Are
And
we
he goes-
colored though?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Benson is sitting there like, you awoken. I'm sorry, sir, but it usually is quite disorienting, and I know I'm not supposed to use my gifts as it would alert Catherine, but it seemed prudent as the building was about to fall on our heads.
It was prudent indeed. Thank you. I appreciate the
F.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Consideration.
Welcome to Limbo.
Thank you for saving us.
I have only but the one gift, but it is quite potent.
Is this the only place you can go?
Yes. Unfortunately, I cannot return. That's why they viewed me as safe enough to leave the young master in my care, as at any moment I could save his life, but we would have to spend some time in a very boring field trip.
So we can't get out.
How
we
much
can't,
time
we just have to
are we
go.
thinking?
Right.
It's just a matter of finding a way gate. Limbo is relatively safe as long as none of you are, closely affiliated with death or anything like that.
I mean, are we?
I mean, the only things that really upset Limbo are things that are outside of, the normal continuity or anything like that.
So no shiny.
So just no,
No
time
time
magics or, fate or Mo would be just tore to pieces. He's weaseled his
Now-
way out of so many contracts and deals.
Let's say if theoretically some of us did dabble in time travel, what would happen then?
Well, I mean, it would be an indeterminate amount of time, but Limbo would eventually tear those people into the ashes that you see around you,
Right,
so
so
that
we should
the
be
Waygate.
timeline reasserts.
Gotta find a waygate, is what you're saying.
I don't understand.
They
You're
just whole
perfectly
story
safe.
about their time travel experience. If they want to, so we gotta look
Oh.
for a thing. Give them
Sir?
the story.
So Benson,
Start walking first.
Yeah.
Have I done something too dangerous? I'm so sorry, sir.
You said it'd take time. We'll be fine. Let's just start with it.
Let's get to Waygate, please.
Either way, we'll be fine.
You know that I cannot find them. That is the downside to the power.
Then close your eyes. We'll find it.
How do we?
How do we find
Can we find one with
Well,
you?
usually the young master just kind of leads us on a merry adventure. We remember we would always pretend to be the spacemen on Mars or the moon or some such, and you would be so joyful from your Jules Verne novels. You remember.
Benson, speaking of impropriety.
I'm sorry. What do you mean by impropriety?
Earlier when we were getting all huggy and everything, because it's not proper.
This
This is improper to
It's not
Yes.
proper to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
stories about
Yes,
them.
Yes. Embarrassing stories about my past are also not proper.
So can we find one if you're with us, or is it just?
Oh yes,
you
sir.
can't
I
find
just
them?
I can't find them on my own. If I were to lead, we would never find one.
All right, sounds like it's me.
Let's go.
What do they look like?
I mean, I guess I would know if I've been through them before. So
Every time an assassin has tried to kill you, you've come to Limbo, and it's just been like he said, just like a jolly little adventure that you eventually get out of.
as we walk, I'll explain to him that basically we have time traveled, and that was why we're so excited to see you, because in our previous timeline you were no more.
And I wasn't either, so I get used to it.
If you were in that timeline, sir, I would have remained devoted.
You were devoted. You just were released from service. It was unfortunate.
He sounds like he. I choose to think of that as a different version of myself, sir.
I do as well.
Well, Captain Nemo, lead on.
This is That's why we
we
don't
should-
tell these stories.
Power walk.
Yes.
More
You
efficient.
gotta start power walking. Okay. Power walking?
Okay, so through Limbo,
The power walk.
Sorry.
The more efficient means of travel.
That's really
Faster.
No, it's you keep the body, but
All right.
We're walking.
We're walking.
so
We're doing all the
so you come across like a portion where the ash has stopped falling, and you see kind of like in like the grayish mist, you see other groups of people moving in different directions from you. One of them like walks in front of you, and it's your group, except instead of Doug, there's like a strange fiery redhead with a bunch of tattoos, and she's like licking a knife as she walks past you. And like there's another group where it's Beck who's complaining. No, Carol's never a fire.
Damn it.
with a knife.
Okay, you're right.
I'm saying like
different.
Different
Doug
iterations
has
of-
died in different iterations, so like
And he was a redhead?
it was a possible character he could have rolled.
Okay.
Considering it.
A fiery redhead.
That licks knives.
And then throws them, but
I don't know why I just assume a fiery redhead is a woman. I don't know why.
No,
Like,
it's just
horrible.
it is a woman.
I
Okay.
did too.
Alright.
Although a hot redheaded guy licking a knife.
Also fiery.
Yeah, I'd be.
As you
Gotta
guys
be
talk
nice.
about it, a fiery redhead male walks by licking a
I
knife.
visibly stop and turn
Is
and
that
watch.
sexy? Licking the knife. I just think that's not clean or safe.
One of the groups, Levi and Zach, are just fully holding hands.
No, yeah, but I can see that. Yeah.
I would never break him and that. What was his name? Joe? What's your roommate? I'm sorry.
Gerald?
Isaac? Ethan.
Ethan. I would never break up you and Ethan. I care so much about your relationship.
I literally stop walking. I'm like, I am not dating Ethan for the billionth time.
No, not yet. Of
So
course.
you do like Levi?
I don't know if I like Levi, but
power walking,
Oh, yeah.
power walking.
You walk by another group where you see Levi and Zachariah in tuxes standing to Lucius's left, and then you see Doug and you standing over Doug and Iris. No, Iris. Right? Yes,
That's
Iris.
my character.
My brain keeps trying to say that it's Lapis, and I'm like, it's not Lapis, it's Iris. But is it Iris? What is it?
Sure.
Anyway, so you see Doug and Iris standing on one side, and a woman that you don't recognize in a wedding dress holding hands with Lucius.
Is that Carol?
You don't
Maybe?
know.
That's a sweet timeline.
I
Oh,
mean,
she's cute.
I've never had any luck with women, so I don't know if that's true.
That's right.
oh,
Yes, clearly none of these were accurate. They're all just figments of some greater being's imagination.
Benson, can we
I
talk
don't
to
know
these
about
other
greater being,
iterations?
but
No, they are only vaguely. None of these iterations are actually present. They're just possible other.
permutations.
Because you have messed around with timelines, Limbo is trying to find which one is you, so that it can tear you to pieces. So each one of these is one that it is exploring to see if it's an anomaly. So this is a bad sign.
So we
Power
should
walking, power walking.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe
much
maybe
faster.
start jogging.
Much faster.
What can I do to
I don't
try and
jog,
find
right?
it?
I mean, that's just it. Like it
You'll
could
jog
be,
if I prod you with a
you know what I
sword
mean.
while
Like
I'm
every time you've come
jogging
here,
behind you.
you've literally just walked
Jog in front of
And
me.
until you like suddenly see one, and then you know what I mean.
Oh gosh.
So
okay.
nothing you can actively do.
Because
Okay.
Limbo doesn't really make any rhyme or reason.
I guess keep looking and just keep eyes peeled.
Any other cool iterations?
There's one where you guys are all gender swapped.
Oh.
And female Zachariah is a very comely woman.
But I kept it tight.
For some, it seems like female Zachariah is very loose, where he is very buttoned up. She's like wearing like a tank top.
Wait, so
she,
then
like,
is female Levi like more buttoned up? I worked so hard in both of my lives to like look so nice and now.
Male Iris is complaining to Lucius, you should really quit drinking.
There's an iteration where it's a very short Levi, pointy ears for him.
Oh.
Bowler hat on top of.
Just for the record, I like our iteration the best.
The one of you two together.
What? No,
one of you.
all of us.
Oh,
like, right now.
got it. Got it.
Like,
I didn't have a slut face in the other one. I'm not particularly interested.
You do pass by 5 mannequins that just vaguely look like you guys in your clothes, just as you keep going. Sorry, I'm just thinking of fun iterations.
Random things.
You guys stop and look at that one for a while.
Yeah.
We make the poses.
Yeah.
Then one of the mannequins suddenly jerks its head.
Scream and run away.
Power walking.
You can't seem to affect it. Like no matter how much, like it's always the same distance
Right.
away. You know what I mean?
I would wear that, yeah.
You walk past a man with black hair, wearing a name tag that says Seb, walking 5 dogs. One very uptight, kind of like purebred German Shepherd. The ugliest mutt you've ever seen.
There's
It's
very
very
dragged from behind.
like a beautiful Afghan, and then like a beagle.
Isn't
I
there
can see
an
it.
Egyptian dog?
it's a fair dog.
The pharaoh dog?
The hairless
Afghan?
ones?
No, pharaoh dog.
No, you're an
Egyptian
Afghan.
dog. Afghans are Egyptian?
No, but it's that beautiful dog with like the,
long
long
hair.
flowing
I
hair.
know, but it makes... Okay.
I picked.
You pick.
I like that you said it so like it's like
I'm
this
sorry.
is fact. No, you're an Afghan.
Guys, Afghans do nannies. Sorry.
Don't tell me what you are. I know what you are.
So do we find Portal?
You eventually come across a girl frantically typing at a computer. You kind of recognize her. She has fiery red hair, and she seems to be like semi in a room. Like there's like an impression of a room around her, but like the only thing that seems solid to you is her, like kind of hanging out in space on a vaguely translucent.
Oh, good. Tom, can we go home?
I don't know where they went. I searched Limbo, but Limbo has like 1 million versions of them right now. And I can't use Tom because they screwed up the timeline, and Tom's still back in 150 years. So I guess I could get a kitten, or maybe send a bread basket. Ooh, or maybe I should get waffles. And then she stops and turns and eats waffles for a while.
What could we do to differentiate ourselves so that she recognizes us if she ends up looking there?
I mean, maybe if you
Hold sign.
get shiny.
Well, why don't you guys did a fantasy thing, right?
But that would also make us a target for Limbo, apparently.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Come on, guys. Do something that makes absolutely no sense for your current iteration.
I strip all my clothes off.
And do what?
I just... I've never done that ever.
Okay, well, I've seen naked Zach before.
What doesn't make any sense?
I kissed Doug.
That's strange.
I just slapped you immediately after.
You guys are standing there, and all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, a mouse kind of goes around you, clicks, and then drags. And then you guys are all kind of like surrounded by like a
Marching
dotted
ants.
line, and then you are violently, like the entire Limbo goes, whoosh, and then you're standing in Dante's.
Do you
And
ever brush your teeth? God
Damn it. And then Catherine goes, "Holy fuck!"
Is she still in the middle of things?
No, she's wearing rubber gloves. There's daylight, so it's obviously the next day, and like the place is spotless with no smell.
Hey, the orgy's over. Put your clothes back on.
Did his clothes come too?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my. I
to the
see it
bathroom.
now. I thought it was always like the church Boy Scout thing, but
Oh,
corrupting is definitely your forte.
Catherine, Carol, Candace, whatever your name is, this has nothing to do with you. We're going to move on now, please. Excuse
mean?
us.
You just appeared as... Okay.
Walk out of the restaurant.
If something's going on, you have an obligation to tell me.
Oh, yes, obligation.
I think
Closing
it's
the door,
more-
walking down the
Do
street.
you give Zach time to put his clothes on? Or did you just walk out?
I mean, I went to the bathroom to like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As soon as she started talking, I was like, all right, screw this.
I don't know where to go from here.
I'll make my head back
Should
in
we
the door.
try my shop?
How long has it
don't
been
know.
since your origin?
What? That was
quick
just
question.
last night that you
Okay,
crashed the
thank you.
boat.
Okay, so
It's been like
21 days.
half a day.
Okay.
All right. That's
So
good to know.
time doesn't necessarily move differently.
Check my phone to see if the building. I'll look at like the news and see if the building.
So I mean, definitely there was a terrorist attack in downtown Tucson. The Chase building and several buildings around it were damaged. They got the fire eventually contained. They believe that there were at least 2 dead. The owners of the apartment.
Oh. So, I'm off the map.
I mean, they're still picking through the rubble, but
Yeah.
so you're not like pronounced dead, Levi.
But, I mean, but still, if they think that.
I mean, and this is also
They're
like
off
what,
us.
which
Okay.
iteration of Levi? Because you would have had to have several different people. This wouldn't have been the first time you've killed yourself.
But
Do you still have his phone number on your phone?
I go back and check
Whose phone number?
the phone number that I didn't recognize.
Well, it said I just sprung my own.
The text
Text
message before the bomb went off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a phone number there, but it's almost assuredly a burner phone.
Just for funsies, take back. It failed, and then we'll figure it out later.
Okay.
It failed to send.
Couldn't see it through, I guess. So let's figure out what we're doing next. But you guys are the ones with the plan, in all honesty. I'm getting strung along here.
Sir, if it's all right with you, I think that I will find a hotel room to have a constitutional. I am very drained after our adventures.
Make sure it's got a continental breakfast. Waffles in the
Understandable.
morning.
Constitutional, not continental.
No, he's
This means
saying,
I need a nap.
and he's saying make sure that it has a continental breakfast.
For the
Oh, I was
morning.
thinking
He
that-
wants waffles.
JW out.
That's perfectly fine.
Why not the AC?
Well, the master already has a standing account. They keep a suite available for him. So
Downtown will be a disaster anyway.
yes, quite. If it is all right with you, I'll also call
Yeah.
a car for myself.
Of course, please. Whatever
Very
you
well,
need.
sir. Would you like me to take Cerberus with me, or are you going to have him for the day?
I'd like him for the day, please.
Very well, sir. And he goes and stands like properly, like a few feet away from you guys while he waits for his Uber.
So considerate.
What do we do?
We gotta find Clark, but we can't get to Clark where with people around.
Yes.
So we have to draw him out somehow.
Yes. If he's even still in the state.
I mean, I imagine he's probably still in the state.
I mean, they just took over the silo yesterday.
Yeah, if we know, I mean, we know where he's gonna be, right? In the silo, because they're taking in the particles or whatever to
Right.
to bring that beast over.
Thing, yes.
Right.
Which they no longer have.
The angel.
What?
They no longer have the angel.
They told you that they got the particles from Doug because he
Dying.
was dead.
Oh,
So they don't-
So
I
you
thought it was
rewrote-
just from the angel.
So you broke that.
Okay.
That's why this makes sense,
Mm.
because you undid them being able to do what they did, which required Doug.
Hmm.
So you
I thought that we had just broken the contract between him and the being.
but it was an ephemeral contract. So the first time they made contact and thus entered into any kind of
agreement.
was when Doug was dead and they discovered the particles.
Okay.
So in order to undo that, because it was just an event that happened,
Yeah.
so that's obvious to Lucius.
Okay. Let's say all of this.
Wow.
That makes sense.
I just also, I'm sure people are watching the stream going like, Rio didn't think about this at all. And I was like, I did.
What an obvious conclusion to come to. I don't know why
Very
you took the
logical.
time to explain it to us.
I just didn't want to spend 3 episodes you guys like second guessing what happened.
So then we don't know his next move, other than potentially trying to reach out to this thing again, but looking at other avenues.
Did they ever reach out to the thing at all before this?
Well, so what they told you is that they were reaching out to other entities, and then they discovered the particles, and that got them in contact with the one that led to the timeline that you did.
Okay.
So, like, at this point, you can assume that they're looking at other avenues, but they didn't get Doug's body.
Got it.
Does that mean they want me?
Well,
There
dead you.
was something about the angel that killed you. That's why your body was important.
Also, please don't go off on your own like that.
Oh yeah.
That's a dumb
Why
idea.
did you ditch us like that?
Had to go check on the silo. It's an important piece.
Why did you know about the
Information.
silo?
I didn't think I got half my tech.
From the silo.
There you go.
Why was
Not actually
your tech
a
in the
part
silo?
of Valkyrie. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Where?
Yes.
Why is your tech inside the silo? What is
Because
the
I
silo?
pulled
Was a
the
project.
silo out. I pulled the tech out of the silo for me to
He didn't make
use.
that tech. He
I know.
sold
No, I understand that. But when you were in there, do you know what it was being used for?
I don't know, it was some secret military base about aliens and like some fungus that broke out and infested the whole area. That's why I gotta wear a gas mask if you would go down.
Your phone begins to ring, Levi.
You have a laptop on you?
Probably inside.
It says Beck.
Who the hell's that? Is that one buddy you were telling about in them stories?
Beck, are you alright?
Hey, Levi, I'm not going to be able to meet up with you guys because I just got a mission down from HQ that I'm supposed to assassinate Doug, that guy who died.
What?
Is this on the speaker?
I turned it down and I'm going into hiding, so I won't be able to meet up with you guys anytime soon. But just a heads up, Task Force Valkyrie knows what's going on.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, that is appreciated. I thank you for the heads up. I wish you the best.
So I would get Doug out of wherever he is, because you got maybe 2-3 days before they get somebody else.
Got it. Thank you. Safe travels.
Thanks, bye.
Beck going into hiding.
Wow.
I hope you know what.
We can discuss it off stream.
Okay.
Can you
Well-
tell us what happened?
Yeah.
What?
So apparently now we have to go? I don't understand. There's so many things happening.
No.
Why do they
honestly-
want you dead?
I don't know.
I mean,
maybe because
he's-
I stole a shitload of their tech.
He's impersonating 4 of
Pretty
them?
sure, like, I'll like go on my phone and check all of the different accounts I have.
I mean, they've all been deleted, if that's what you're wondering.
Yeah, no, just check it out. Are they still there? Ah, they got them. Yeah, they know. Yeah, it's not gonna be the first time I had to disappear for a little bit. It's not that hard for a hermit, be a hermit. So, keep on your earpieces, and well, I'll find a spot. Unless you guys got a good idea where I gotta go.
I mean,
you guys have had it about up to here with splitting up, so that's not an option.
I feel like we all should probably leave the state. I mean, at this point. Right?
Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's where they're going to be, right? That's the headquarters.
Alright, I'll drive, but I'm gonna get me some fake glasses.
I'll text Benson.
Fake glasses? You're not going to get real glasses.
Oh, I ain't got no problems with vision. As long as there's a fake lens in there,
He
it's
says,
fine.
squinting at you. I see perfectly fine. Everybody has to get this close to the computer.
That's why you guys chose me to be the driver.
You guys just have the font super big.
For the last time, 12 point is the same on every screen.
I mean, if we're gonna be road tripping it to Minnesota, Should we switch out for a different kind of vehicle?
That was
like
what I was
car?
going to text Benson about. If I sorry to interrupt your constitutional, but I need a larger vehicle.
Now, should we find this vehicle elsewhere from all of our contacts so we can be completely free of our independent organizations?
AKA, are we stealing a vehicle? Is that what
I'll
you're
make a phone call. so-
Motorhome.
saying? Yeah, a motorhome would actually be.
We can start
Or a
fixing
bus
it up
or
to need a new van.
I feel like we have the capital for it, probably.
I can pull out some cash. Well, I already have a bunch of cash set up where I usually do. But
I think that a vehicle provided by the Lucifuge is going to be probably harder to track than if I just run my credit card. You know? I don't know.
I could be one want to run a credit card. Do cash.
You get an address for the vehicle pickup.
What is it?
Picking up a vehicle.
It's just an address of like a car delership or lot or
Okay.
something that you've dealt with before. Like,
Do we take this or no?
Do it.
If you
Let's
lose
do
a future, keep it hidden from. Well, actually, I've been through Valkyrie's files. We'll be fine.
I almost wonder if we could try and get their help at this point. I mean, try to get them to not kill you, but help us kill Clark. What is their function? They'd want him dead, right?
I assume so.
they're the government. So of all of your organizations, they probably have like the most face to lose in this particular situation.
Meaning what?
I mean, like, and also all
Like
of
he
your like
embarrassed them.
legitimate contacts with the Task Force Valkyrie. One has gone on the run from Task Force Valkyrie, and the other one has been pretending to be 5 people.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, it's not necessarily something you can't track down, but I'm just saying, realistically, you guys have no connection to Task Force Valkyrie.
Pretty sure I could break into a few of the systems. Still, they're not that complex, but it'd take some time. I think like a few days, maybe a week. But either way,
And all of it would come with inherent risk. The wrong move, and it could tip them off to exactly where you are.
Let's just
Okay,
go.
so we go get the car,
Yep.
sell it at another dealership for cash, and then use that cash to go buy
So,
something else.
On a different
Yeah.
dealership.
So when you show up at the location, there is a gleaming black, one of those big RVs, and it seems to have like tinted windows, and like you see at least 3 antennas, so you know it has Wi-Fi.
I think this was good, man.
And you know for a fact that because it's Lucifuge, it has armor and bulletproof glass.
And it's probably bugged.
If you're not worried about being tracked by your people, I'm fine with it.
Is this what our
It's
5
also
dots
kind
and
of
safe house
sexy.
finally
We finally got our 5 dot safe house. Yes. Okay.
Come on.
It took me a while to get there, but here you are. I
I
mean, kind of your
pretty
apartment was your safe
Yes.
house before.
but now
so-
it's gone.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right,
Let's go. I
then.
need it.
All those
Yeah.
guns.
Yes.
I do a quick gander around.
Yeah,
Computers?
like
So many plugs.
Yes.
Okay.
Cat 5 everywhere.
All right. Just need a curtain around this
Should we-
desk. I'll be good.
Yeah,
Should we
good call.
stop by the shop to see if Tom is there, or did the Arbiter indicate that Tom is not there?
I
I
think
mean,
Tom just wasn't in limbo.
maybe I guess that would be.
You have never known Tom not to be exactly where
we needed
need him to
Yeah.
be, like when you talk about him. Like every time you've talked about Tom, he's just been there. I mean, you're not even sure if he lived at the shop because like there would be days where you never saw him, and then when he needed to throw a news article in your face, he would just
He would
suddenly
pop
be
up.
there.
Is there an orange tabby in the RV?
No.
Okay. Well, shall we head north? And this time actually north?
What type of computers do we got in here?
There's no computers in there, but
We
there
need to
are-
stop by Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Just take.
I
we'll
don't
go
have
to the-
time to go on to Newegg, get all these other things ordered and sent to me.
Let's go.
I gotta work with what I got.
Let's go to one in Phoenix, so we're not at least here anymore.
That works for me.
They have fries up there. Better than Best Buy.
I like his thinking.
Okay. So we'd set off.
You spend like an hour poking through with your like phone, picking up bug signals and pulling them out.
I'll take the time to do that. Yeah.
Just kind of like yanking them like out of stuff. Like you smash something, and they're all like, "Ugh." You like pull out a.
Good to have you back, Doug. It's good to have you back.
Unless I'll drive always.
I never left.
He just leaves the broken clock there and keeps moving.
Zach, would you take care of that?
I'm driving.
Oh, I thought he was driving. Sorry. Oh no, I'm seeing the
He's
bugs.
searching for bugs.
I'm sorry.
That's why I was like, I'll drive because he's not.
You can't do that and drive at once. I thought you people were talented.
If I had Yukiko, I could, but she's in a van. Oh, fine.
There is a wine and alcohol fridge, but it is empty.
All right, so
I
Bevmo
took
next to
a
the front.
bottle when we were at Dante's, so it's all good.
When the building was coming down, she was just like,
No, at Dante's.
"This is
when we
Ciroc.
popped
This is
there.
50-year-old whiskey."
Can't let that burn.
It's gonna burn so smooth.
So much alcohol was destroyed with that apartment, and so many guns.
That's what I
So many
was.
guns.
I'm surprised the building didn't keep blowing up.
Fire
They might
nice.
have.
Emergency services is like, okay, I found another gun. Okay, add it to the pile of guns.
I found some more grenades.
One's missing a pin, but it's jammed, so be extra careful.
It's just like this pile of guns and like stolen artwork.
So we're driving. We're on our way to Phoenix.
I mean, you guys got some time if you guys need to like decompress or
I
talk.
did
about
grab
stuff.
my bug out bag from my
I know
place.
we're kind of going on this whole save the world kick, but what are your thoughts on your sister now that you remember it again? I mean, it didn't seem like she was too familial at the.
You feel like
Decide.
Lucius doesn't understand how few bottles of alcohol you have right now.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's too late for her. I mean, short of kidnapping her and trying to brainwash this Chiron out of her, I don't know what to do for her, and she doesn't want my help. I don't know. I guess I'm glad I remember her now. But it's just brought up so many negative feelings.
Do you think it's worse to have to express and feel all of that, or to just lose it entirely?
Now that I've had both, I mean, it certainly felt better to just not know about her at all. But I feel like she deserves to be remembered when she wasn't
When she
what
wasn't
she is now.
that thing. Yeah.
So if nothing else, at least now I have that of her rather than just nothing.
God, losing the memory of somebody you love would be really terrible.
Yeah.
Mo is so devious. What did he even do with that memory anyway? Why would he want that?
In my experience, usually when he's doing those things, it's so that he can experience the feelings himself. He's occasionally goes on these little things where he's very interested in what mortals are doing and feeling and experiencing, and he just gets it into his system that he has to do it in order to, be a better deal maker. But I really think it's a little sappy thing. He's a sappy little man.
Well, I mean, he's locked up in that dimensional cage all day, so he needs to feel something, right?
Well, the love between sisters is quite unique, so that'll be something new for him, or was something new for him. Now he doesn't know now, right, that he did that.
Oh, I don't know if he does or not. I guess we made the deal. We made the deal at a later
Oh
time.
boy, if only one of us had kept a diary. It would be quite helpful to be consulting that at this time.
I mean, have we tried to hack into their system and see if she keeps a diary?
I haven't. I could try that. I don't know if it's an undue risk, though. 'Cause
Perhaps we try it not in the van when we stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Maybe we can.
like an internet cafe.
Yeah.
Or
someone else's IP
like a
address.
Fry's Electronics.
Or Fry's Electronics.
I could definitely break into one of theirs. It's really easy to use.
Zach, you realize there's something that you've told everyone else, but that you haven't told Doug.
Well, I know.
Okay.
I was gonna tell him earlier, and then.
Oh no, I'm just saying we have downtime now.
Oh,
I don't know.
So like we were always talking about after the stream. It was like, oh, we should have had these conversations, and they're always like, there's never any downtime in World of Darkness, and I'm like, here it is.
Road trip down. Yeah.
And of course, as soon as we get downtime, we're all like, I don't know, What do we do?
Yeah.
What are we supposed to do?
It's like you have downtime, but you have to stop the end of the world, and you have
That's the
no
thing.
plan.
It's like, we're talking about downtime, but it's like we're in a situation where like
Yeah.
we're screwed right now. We're trying to get somewhere, but it's like okay,
I mean, you can't do anything till you get to Phoenix.
right?
I mean, name one time in the last like 3 months you guys haven't been trying to stop the end of the world.
Exactly. That's why we don't have time for this. We're professionals. Hey, so Doug, not that it like matters or anything, but I'm gay.
And still a virgin.
Thanks, Levi.
Well, that didn't change, right?
No.
Am I supposed to be surprised?
Cool. Good talk.
Sorry.
He has seen all of your internet sources.
Forgot about that.
I'm proud you let it out, buddy.
Thanks.
Do they all know? Well, you guys, yeah. I'm
Well,
pretty sure
yeah.
they know.
I mean, that's-
Doug knew before anybody else.
Doug saw all the how to know if gay. Can you be gay and Christian? Does God like gays? He just saw all of those searches.
Sad.
I know it's so real.
Sad day.
Those searches happen.
Yeah.
Do you miss your power from the Fae?
Oh, that. I
Queen.
mean, they were cool, but I mean, at what cost?
It kind of works for you, in all honesty. You know, Faye are definitely more flamboyant.
Huh?
Alright. Sorry, just let him out. I'm not good with these jokes yet.
Okay.
You've had him for an extra, like, what, you said 150 years you guys went through something?
Well, I mean, it was only like. a
I'm
couple
just
months
starting,
to us.
alright? Whatever.
Do you have a different conception of your faith now that you know
Yeah, I mean, living in a world where in theory
God
God
was dead
yeah, and didn't exist, but I
and
was still able
the
to
Fae
do
was
stuff.
not?
Right. But I was still able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely.
I mean, you could probably always get them back.
I don't know if I want to though.
Yeah. Then we'd have to go back to Fairy.
Yeah,
I don't know if
think
I
I
want to
ever
fight
want-
another dragon.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You can leave me out of all of that talk.
What about you, Doug? What's your sexual orientation?
You already know that.
Robots.
He's a vacuum
Robots.
Man,
Oh, right. I thought that was
easy
all
to deal
a
with. Don't
joke.
have to do all the talking. No, like, huge emotional connection. It's just easier. Easier to, like it's nice to be able just to clean up my own mess.
So you're saying
Yeah.
you're afraid of emotional connection.
For the most part.
Let's unpack that, Doug.
What were your parents like?
Yeah, they're pretty nice. Yeah. Took care of me. Lived for a good little while. I believe it was New Mexico. I said right.
It's your character, man.
Yeah. I don't remember if it was New. I'm pretty sure it
Well,
was New Mexico.
if you get something wrong, this is technically an alternate reality, Doug.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, grew up in New Mexico. Parents
mean-
are both average citizens. Mom teached for a while. Dad went from officer job to IT job, and in IT he'd bring me along all the time when I was little. I learned the little things. And I got all good at stuff. Nothing crazy happened. No, it's just I'm lazy. Too much work. And I see all these relationships, and it's like, oh, gotta get her this box of chocolates. Gotta get him this thing. Gotta make sure that she's. I just want to sit down, do nothing, and look at my beautiful work.
Okay, then.
He did stay with me when we all first got together. He's not lying.
You know, like I had to like get like I'm telling you now, there will be a curtain around this desk in this RV as soon as we get the chance.
Leather seats.
They're too hot.
Oh god. That RV like swerves. Sorry.
You know, it's not a lot behind it, in all honesty. Just never found someone to put the effort in for.
That's very sad.
Except for Yukiko.
Everyone finds happiness in different ways.
It was sad to see her Yukiko.
Get out of the
Too
car.
soon?
I'm a loser on this one. Get out of my new RV.
Seb
out.
jumps onto your lap and puts a paw on your face.
Oh my god. Iris.
Bitch.
I will kind of walk beside you, sit down next to you, just kind of. I accept whole ownership of this RV as an apology.
Oh.
And I stand back up and walk away.
Apologies.
Iris,
I was never gonna drive it.
is there any alcohol left?
Yes, darling.
You're driving. Put that down.
What are you driving? You could have a little
No, I'm
bit.
saying we don't condone
Here,
this.
I'll hold the wheel. Get out of there. This
we
is
just
my
call
RV.
it the little British.
I mean, people put it in coffee, for Christ's sake.
It's good in coffee. Don't nag it. But yeah, no. Here, I'll get off. Give me the wheel. I'm gonna start like just pushing it out as I hold the wheel. We slow down a little bit as I have to get back and push it down.
Anyway.
You didn't even have it in cruise control. Come on, man.
Who needs cruise control from Tucson to Phoenix?
It's 2 hours.
I mean, it's nice.
I mean, you can't go
I am
80 miles an hour in like a thing this big. So
Says who?
This is
Says-
a souped up Satan RV, okay? It's going.
You basically said it was badass, so it goes with that.
I'll hit the nods.
This is our SUS RV. Souped up Satan RV.
souped up Satan. The sus. It's the sus.
Sushers.
Very sus.
It's exactly what you need to suss out these problems.
I'm leaving.
Bored.
Bark.
Bar.
We get to the fries and I buy my stuff. Okay.
No. Hey, do you guys seriously not want to have any more downtime?
I mean, we can
I got
keep
it.
talking. We can keep character
Okay.
develop.
Take it away, Iris.
Oh, crap.
Ask more drunken questions of your friends.
So, spacemen, eh? I love a good spaceman story.
Limbo.
Oh.
We really fell.
I was like, did I ever think about sleeping with an astronaut? This is
You probably
Jules
do.
Verne wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Captain Nemo.
Which
Yeah.
was a sea.
Not in space.
Facebook, but anyway.
Did
We're
Jules Verne
smart.
write a
We know
space book?
things.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because he wrote
I
several
don't think he
sci-fi
was-
novels.
I don't think he was famous for that, but
Well, no.
right, now
but-
we're all looking that up.
Yeah, keep going.
yeah, Spencer and I enjoyed our make-believe
I
time.
feel like you could have been an
Your
astronaut.
make-believe time.
No interest in that, though.
Absolutely not.
I mean, that would be uncomfortable, to
Yes.
say the least.
Yes, and then you have to be in basically the military for that entire amount of time, and I'm not going to take orders from anybody that isn't. Excuse me. I barely take orders from the ones that are to those of you.
Speaking of, how do you deal with like Catherine?
I only met Catherine yesterday,
But what
so
I'm
I don't really know.
like, I'm assuming this has happened before though, where they basically like put
So-
you under watch.
No, I'm saying I mean, yes, but it's been probably 20 years since I've had to handle any of this. I moved here specifically to get away from him.
Well,
No,
you
so
don't.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what in the past, like,
Well, in the past, I was still trying to climb. So at that point, I was playing by the
Oh.
rules, and I wasn't really under supervision. It wasn't until I decided. Oh, hello. It wasn't until I. It wasn't
He's
until I
just
started.
miming driving the
Yeah.
It wasn't until I started to really push back that they started to do this kind of thing to me.
My question to you is, you said you don't remember Catherine? Who was taking care of your restaurant before?
her name was.
That's exactly what happened. So you just like you go.
I don't
Her name
remember.
was. I guess. And then
It
you
wasn't
just.
important. She.
Yeah.
Alright.
Doug, admittedly, there's a lot of holes. A lot of holes. And I'm not entirely
That
sure
usually is the
why.
case with you.
This is where I...
It's
Oh, boy.
I'm trying to get off the seat. Calm down. So I'm currently like leaned back.
That's
and,
a
like,
T-shirt.
bark.
Bork.
I have a few other questions about your adventure.
Go
Yes.
for it.
Lucius, that quill thing.
Yes.
How's it work?
Well, it breaks the contract of anyone who has a contract. You could break it, and
Okay.
it doesn't matter what the contract is. But there are repercussions. Pretty bad repercussions. I know Beck, when we tried to free him from that 1950s horror, he lost an arm.
That's weird. They only just got out of a thing. You guys changed 150 years.
Yeah.
That
You
happened.
Nothing happened?
Yeah, and his arm got cut off so quickly.
Yeah, it was immediate. But I mean, you say that it's been dealt with, right? There's no other pending.
I mean, I don't have a way to say for sure, but I remember a flash of anger, and then it's done.
Did want to kill him.
Yes,
And then you did leap at Lucius in anger, but then you didn't know why.
Yes, so I would assume that they're connected.
So something was taken. You can't remember, and you also can't remember who took your management position.
No.
All right, there's 3 things I could connect there.
So,
What's something that he cared about the most?
No, they just remember a generic
Person.
know
Oh, so they
nothing
do have
girl.
someone that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just there's no details about her. So like
Yeah.
in their
She
minds,
got
it was
faded in
like
the
she didn't
background.
really matter. She just literally came in during the day. We never interacted.
I thought you said it was like there's like.
Well, there
everyone was- and
is,
they
but as soon as they hit one of their holes, their brain just glosses
just
over.
wing. Okay. All right, so that's
And-
completely different.
There's nothing we can roll to try and overcome that.
Well, so the problem is like because of the
We don't know
consequences
what
of the
to
quill,
remember.
like it's not like you don't remember her. It's she was never there. So like in your memories, there's holes, but like reality filled it in with probably like several like just part-time normie managers.
Okay.
because Catherine's the first one where it was Lucifer getting
Yeah.
frustrated with me and putting somebody there.
So like before Catherine came along, it was probably you just hired people who then something weird would happen and you'd have to let them go or they would quit. And then in the last year, Catherine, the longer you guys have been in this, like it's starting to, you know,
Fill in more.
Cement.
Normalize.
like when you go for those memories, they're now being replaced by
I still just have a lot of holes, though.
you will probably have the most holes for the longest. Yeah.
Well, we did go through Limbo and see a lot of different alternate
Just that
realities.
time was shorter.
Let's
Yeah.
just say that one of those that walked by.
Lucius
Probably
has
was a
lot
time
more
when you didn't
emotion,
use the quill.
but not more than Levi.
Yeah, I
Although
mean,
which one would affect? Oh, sorry. Which one of would affect him the most? He's the only one.
I don't know. He broke.
I do feel immeasurable sadness right now, but nothing to latch on to.
All right. Well, my best guess is something in Limbo told us something, but can't remember. I'll let you guys deal with it.
I mean,
More
Limbo
memory
also
games.
cast you guys as dogs, so
Different alternate reality from there. Might have been something else here. That's my best guess as a driver. I'm driving to Fries.
It was so peculiar earlier too when you said you were bad with women because that just didn't feel right to me.
Feel right to me.
I mean, I never had any luck. It's always been my studies, and then I just got over it.
I'm done.
Never had really any time. Yeah.
I can't keep sitting like that. Sorry.
What about you, Iris? You good with the old gentleman?
Well, I'm afraid it's the same story as you. No time, really. I've always been on this quest for greatness, and it brought me to Tucson, Arizona. But seriously, I think, yeah, no time, and drinking has always been much more interesting than talking to men. Present
she says
company excused,
she says
of
to the
course.
man filled with men who she is close with.
It's so funny because I normally don't like talking to men, and yet I find myself with nothing but male friends.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with
Just
it.
kidding. I'm really.
Sometimes you crave a feminine energy. But I mean, I really haven't had time to crave any energies.
Any energy?
as of late.
See, too much work. Got more on our plate than we need to care for.
True. My grandmother had always hoped I'd settle down with a nice mystic But mystics are so smelly and clingy. Not my thing.
There's
It's all the herbs they
Incense.
use for that.
Lucius is like, there's nothing wrong with clingy.
Yeah, clingy. Yeah.
I am interested in one of these blood orgies, though. That looked quite fun.
They're
There isn't actual killing, is there? Or...
no, they're fun for the first dozen or so times, but then you know.
And I find they
And-
probably need a doctor afterwards.
And before Tarpson saran wrap. Oof.
I never dealt with any
So
of that.
you just have sex and blood. Is that what the?
Yes, it's kind of an homage to the old ways before things got a little more calm and the Lucifuge got a little more business-like. It's a whole medieval. It's an entire Middle Ages, I don't know, callback. There's a lot of them from that time period that are very nostalgic, and I've just never been one.
You guys get all your vaccinations beforehand, right? Because diseases, bloodborne diseases, I'd be.
Generally
Bit
speaking,
concerned.
we don't have those kinds of problems. We are just
Oh,
immune for the most part.
we'll have a sample of your blood. Oh, thank you. We're good.
And also, let's not forget the fact that, I mean, if you're going to have a blood orgy, who has time to think about diseases?
I feel like that's all you have time.
That's the first step.
But I feel like Iris is also incredibly responsible, and these are the Lucifuge. I mean, you have one in your group. Does he seem like the most responsible?
That's why I ask these questions.
Well, I mean, but part of the reason why we're not terribly responsible is that there's not a lot of consequences for anything that any of us do, you know?
How wonderful. How do I sign up?
You don't. I mean, it's not all sunshine and blood orgies.
What? So there's some darkness in there?
You have to go gather and reap and build and, you know, destroy those that are opposing the organization.
Have you ever been in a serious relationship?
I'm sort of like you in that regard. I don't really enjoy listening to men talk.
Hmm.
So I stick to the activities that don't require it.
Excellent.
Camera pans and zooms in on Zach's face, office style.
I'm unfazed at this point because I don't talk a whole lot.
I also don't really think I believe you when you say that he's not very responsible. I think he's pretty responsible. It's just that someone always has to get up and open the door for him. It's always so prissy.
Yeah, he has a thing about doors.
Really? What happened there?
Maybe this, you know, I'm feeling warm. I'm feeling this flash of anger like I was earlier. I think that's what it was. It must have been the doors.
And you can't remember why you were so upset at that trip.
Yeah, I
'cause
don't
you
know
guys
why
were there
I
together.
I don't know why I was so opposed to going with you, but you didn't really need me there.
So what you're saying is really that entire situation was your fault
I'm sure I was doing something very important that I couldn't be there at that second.
that you can't tell us about.
I don't remember.
So it was very important, but you don't remember it.
Yes.
He just grabs the bottle.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
It's around this time that you see liquor store coming up on the next
I will
stop.
just start taking the exit without telling him. Just
You see as you pull up to the rest stop, you see a little sign that says "Lost," and then another one a little bit later is like "Need advice or a favor," and then the next one is like "Seriously, dude, just pull over and go into the basement."
I will pull over.
And then the next one is like dash Mo.
I'll pull over. Like, you want it in the basement, by the way. And I'll just go straight into the liquor store.
Wait, what?
What?
We're wanted in the
I'd
basement.
be like opening the door. Mo!
All right.
Okay.
I will get all my pina colada
So you're gonna
mixers,
split off from the group
strawberry
again.
daiquiri,
No,
Baileys,
he's just
and
buying
alcohol. I
while
come
you
running
guys-
back within 5 minutes. Like, oh, you guys are making all right, cool. Put this in. Let's go.
Okay. Walking over to the strange basement door of this rest stop liquor store that has bump and dance music happening behind it.
Even though no buildings in Tucson have or in Arizona really have basements.
This is
This one
probably
does.
just like a storage thing or something, like, or a crawl space for electronics.
No,
or
no,
something.
Levi. I'll get in. And then I open the door for him.
You see two farmers
Son of a bitch.
standing like 30 feet away, kind of going like, "Yo." You descend in. Who goes first?
I'll go first.
Levi, you son of a bitch!
Mo, great to see you.
What did you do?
In regards, that's a very broad question. I don't
There
know.
is a whole swath of missing information, and I have at least 3 deals on my shelf that have been null and voided by something you did. Come on, tell me. How did you outmaneuver me this time? Come on, sit down. I have your cocktails. Free of charge. I just really want to know how you did it. Come on. We're old friends. Come on.
I don't even know what it is.
No. Sex.
I don't know.
That's alcoholic.
I know.
What did you do?
I don't know if you believe me if I
And also, just 1 second. Zach, do you feel like going in the back room with me right now?
No.
don't know.
But good try.
I don't know if you believe me if I told you. To be honest.
Name one time that I've never believed you. Name one time that you've lied.
Fair. Well, I mean to you. You were the Morning Star's bitch.
Wait. Who's?
The Morning Star.
The big
What?
one.
That's why you're starting this story.
I was figuring we were going to start with something that concerned you.
All right.
It's quite the story.
So he gets like much more serious. So what do you mean?
Well, we got transported roughly 100 to 200 years in the future. We materialized in Manhattan. Most of the world had been destroyed. We ran into you. It was the Empire State Building, something like that. Something very cliche. It's unfortunate. I thought he'd be much more imaginative than he was. But you were basically his slave, for lack of a better term, as he wreaked havoc in that part of the world.
He did describe dog collar, and he was not able to stand.
Yes, I believe that's it.
Thank you, Doug.
Footstool.
It's important.
It was a good moment there. It's really nice.
It's always a pleasure. Your pina colada.
You sort of helped us
I'm already
escape.
sipping one. I get the other one.
You sort of helped us escape, in a way, and then we traveled across the country in various forms of transport, and
Including a bus that,
sort of
Like, had a creature inside of it.
yes, the creature sort of used
It
it
was
as
like a hermit crab
bus.
bus.
He like leans back and suddenly he's sitting in like a high-backed chair.
So after that, we met the Collector. Almost lost everything.
The collector.
Yes.
You met the collector.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah, we
unpleasant.
did.
Yes, he'd
Sorry.
settled here, it seemed, after things.
Sorry,
had gone to
guys.
shit.
Apologize again for that one.
I mean, did it really happen?
Small town in
Now?
Kansas. It
We've got-
was interesting.
That's strange. So he even left the little pocket of the multiverse that he lives in to
Yes.
come to the material.
He'd set up shop, it seemed. We ended up in Minnesota, fighting the Chiron group as usual, in the basement.
Chiron group can't actually accomplish anything. They're 2-bit.
They can.
Yes.
They did. Well,
You know Mr.
Yes.
Clark, yeah?
Yes, I hold his contract.
You-
Sorry, what?
I hold his contract?
His immortality contract.
Yes. Who do you think gave it to him?
You can grant immortality.
Oh.
If you pay enough. Yeah.
What did he pay?
Have you ever heard of Roanoke?
Yes.
Oh boy.
No. No.
What?
Roanoke?
City in Virginia.
Every time he
So-
dies, I have to wipe out another civilization, the Mayans. Bermuda Triangle is a lot of him as well. If you like human life, I'd highly suggest not shooting him that much.
Which civilization did you wipe out, I don't know, what, 9 months ago when we first met him?
You guys have met Mr. Clark? You told me that you saw him at the missile silo, but that was the first time you had met him.
That was in this timeline. In our timeline, we'd run into him several times.
Well, then I wouldn't know.
He's a right back.
Well, basically, he made a deal with an extraplanar entity, and that was the reason why the world had been destroyed.
Extraplanar entity? What, like one of the old ones? Jesus.
For lack of a better name, yes.
Yeah, probably.
It made all of Minnesota the 1950s from a sitcom. It was very strange.
There's something, lots of TV stuff.
So when you say otherworldly, you mean truly otherworldly?
Yes.
Because the old ones are all of this universe.
No, it was nothing.
But to contact something outside of the universe, you would have to have, I don't know, something
Particles from an angel?
truly divine. Yes.
That's how they had done it.
Well, it's been lovely meeting with you all. If you'll excuse me, I have things to attend to. Zach, still no?
No.
What do we need to trade to get his contract?
Oh, I mean, I don't give people contracts away. That's bad business.
What will we trade for you to break his contract?
I mean, it would have to be something of equal value.
Which is?
Well, I just told you what he paid for it.
To destroy an entire civilization.
Which is what we're trying to prevent from happening anyway, so...
Well, the thing is there'd be a difference between all civilizations and a few.
Alternatively, you could bring enough people into the world to compensate for those civilizations, but even you, Levi, would run out eventually.
Also, that's not really equivalent.
Well, I was saying, like, there's a loss of life, so bringing in that much life.
I know, but we still killed a bunch of people.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Just because new babies are being born doesn't do that.
I would have to disagree with you, Iris, but...
Well, you know, we are from different backgrounds.
Med school, hell.
Similar fathers.
Now, Mo,
God.
what if we had the power to break that contract ourselves?
Whatever you're
And
implying.
Every other contract you hold.
Have you been dipping into my emails, Lucius?
I'm just saying we might hold
Are you
an
saying there's
artifact.
something that you might have on your person currently that is capable of breaking a demonic contract?
I grabbed Lucius and
We'd
pulled
never
him out
have
of the
it.
bar.
On us.
Perhaps a feather with a tiny little bit of metal attached?
Perhaps.
Squirts ink?
Squirts ink.
Now, you see,
Owned by a stuffy gentleman? Disliked religion?
if I were to give you that in exchange for his breaking his contract, how would that sound? Taking away the ability to break any of your contracts.
It is not equivalent. I'll get it from you eventually. Don't worry, sir. You'll live, what, another 10, 15 years? The way you live your life.
What? How old are you, Lucius?
Or I could just come pick it out of the wreckage or whatever consequences.
True. Or I can live for the next 5 minutes and break every single one of your contracts.
Well, you would need the contracts to break them.
Would I? We both know this, Adam.
We know the item, but it would surely destroy you. And you would have to know which contracts you were breaking.
That's the kind of day we're having, Mo.
I just called down Levi for a nice chit-chat, and then you come in here with an atomic bomb tucked into your dungaroos? Are they Aquaman or Superman?
Well, as far as I've kind of understood from it, you're the one that made the contract with the guy who's going to make you someone else's bitch.
I mean, hundreds of years ago.
No, in the future. So until we end that contract, you're still looking about 100 years, which probably isn't a lot of time for you to be back on your knees with a collar around your neck.
Keep it up, Doug.
I'm just telling their story, alright? I was not there, alright? Take it up with them.
I'm just saying, I've gone through a sloppy phase before.
He's not wrong, though. If this goes forward the way that it did last time, the Morning Star will return.
Well, but you've already changed everything. That's clearly the case, given my inventory.
Yes.
Which contracts did you lose?
What's to stop this from happening again?
Yes.
You still have the concept
Well,
of that.
you have no idea how it's going to happen again. Taking the actions that you're currently undertaking, since you've changed reality, I mean, it could come from a completely different source now. So even following the same course of action that you were previous to the change, in your actions, it could be a bunch of scientists from Norway who do the same thing now.
How many people that exist on this planet right now are, in theory, immortal other than Lucifuge?
Lucifuge are not immortal.
No.
Long-lived,
Yeah.
but
So
not immortal.
how many other people on this planet are immortal right now?
Well, the only one who has been able to word the wish in quite the way to be as solid as Mr. Clark, just him, as far as I know. It was masterfully done.
So then he is the only one that can take on this entity.
Well, I, A, don't know what entity you're speaking of, and B, you obviously don't know for certain that that's the only way it could have worked. Because there are vampires out there who are incredibly resilient and nigh immortal. No one's tried to kill them, so we're not sure if they're mortal or not. I mean, Kane's still sleeping somewhere.
But if nobody contacts this entity, then it won't necessarily have any interest in being here.
Who's to say? You would have to give me more details. But if you're asking for my advice, we can deal.
I would love your advice.
Very well. Let's negotiate.
What do you want?
Well, the quill, for one.
We already named the price for that.
Would you know that isn't a fair price?
All right.
Which we still don't agree that it's not a fair price.
Because you also understand that the quill is dangerous for not only my contracts, but yourselves and the rest of the world. I mean, all it takes is one person to go find the first stone down in the Crescent Valley, write it on the right stone, and poof, no more pact that made the earth earth. If you believe in creationism. I don't personally, but it doesn't really matter if you have reality or facts when it comes to the quill.
I mean, right now our plan is we'll break his contract ourselves using the quill and then kill him right afterwards.
I don't think you understand that the cost of that would be monumental.
The cost to not do it is monumental.
It's even bigger.
And we already used it to break the contract he had with the entity once, and we're still standing here.
Yes.
But I implore you to understand that even if you do that course of action, it might not stop what is coming.
We understand that.
We will stop the one we know. And that's a first step.
We're taking it like scientifically, because we're eking out whatever we can to try to stop it. And this is one thing that we know.
Are you saying that you might have a way that we could stop the thing entirely? Is that what you're trying to counter with? Because I'm assuming if you're giving us a course of no action, then you have a different action you'd like us to take. Or at least recommend.
How about this? I will end my contract with Mr. Clark. In exchange for, if such a time that you, Leviathan Demond, no longer need use of your physical form, I acquire it permanently and irrevocably.
And how do we determine whether I no longer need use of my physical form or not?
The deal will take care of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be clear,
This is between me and Levi, and suddenly none of you can speak.
If you're going to take my body and leave my soul veselless, I'm going to need a little more than just ending the contract. I use this.
And I'm proposing to you, all cards on the table, that at such a time that you yourself no longer have need of your physical form, so if you in any way feel your physical form is still necessary to your existence, then you can keep it. No loopholes, no betrayal, just when you're done with it, I get it.
Hand me down.
Need to be able to leave here.
Yes, that is inherent in it, but you won't be around, so it won't matter much.
It won't matter much to the rest of the world.
Well, yes, but I have my world-conquering, bringing back the Morning Star days are long since over.
Now is when I wish I could roll insight.
I mean, you can. Just roll, let's say, resolve plus subterfuge. No, resolve, composure.
Don't you have a detect lies?
I do. It's that I can use extras for that.
Okay.
To
Artifacts?
Is it artifact?
Are they flanking though?
Sure, this is the first roll.
Success.
Okay. You feel like he is being... You feel like he is preparing for something that you don't understand.
Okay.
But you feel like he's being level with you. This is the first time he's been this candid. He's speaking very direct words. He's, you know what I mean? Like, he is very much so, like, I need this.
Yes.
And this gets you what you want, but I need this in order to give you what you want. That's
Okay.
what you feel like.
Deal.
And that's where we'll end our session.
Oh God.
Tune back in around 8:30. We'll be doing Starfinder with the recently condemned Coulter.
You're condemned?
Yeah. From what I just did with Mo.
Oh, gotcha. Bye.
And we'll come up with a tagline eventually.
Eventually.
That was at the end, though.
This is